And unfortunately, I am with the majority here who thought that it wasn't the greatest game. Like, there wasn't that much effort that was shown on the court. This WNBA All-Star Weekend was my first in person. I felt like the players were so excited and happy to be there. They just didn't put that much effort on the court. And I also have to admit that I left during the third quarter. I just kind of couldn't take it anymore.
An abomination.
Going crazy after. Aliyah Boston completely changed the course of events. Consider the All-Star was their drama in the game. Aliyah's remarks on Caitlin Clark were far worse than that. This was not your typical post-match kudos. There was a lot of Beyonce meets Oprah energy in this. What transpired in that changing room? Did they start a motivational tour or create a super team? Whatever it was, Aliyah's mic drop moment sent shockwaves around the internet and lit a flame. Beneath the WNBA, hold on tight. You thrive on this kind of mayhem. Interview 1.00136 Aliyah Boston does more than just hoop. She is
powerful moment. We didn't, at least as players, we didn't know that that was going to happen. So I think it was kind of like a genuine surprise, but the t-shirt, just united front was determined this morning, that we had a meeting for. And, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that.
Dispersing energy outside as if it were a stimulus check. After receiving a screen, used to rebound, you gain more self-assurance in the middle of the huddle. She has perfected the art of being the team player who elevates everyone in her vicinity. It's total game-changing charisma in a jersey, not just chemistry. She is essentially duct tape in the WNBA. Resilient, trustworthy, and preventing everything from collapsing, in contrast to some of the more perplexing front office maneuvers we've recently witnessed. Additionally,
Kelsey Plum was at the All-Star game in Indianapolis. She made quite a scene, bruh. This time, at the conclusion of the game, I was one of the first people to break the story about her actually making comments about Caitlin Clark's team not being at this meeting for the CBA negotiations. Now, we know the WNBA All-Stars came out with these t-shirts. Pay us what.
Lexi Hull is the spark, if Aliyah Boston is the glue. Criminally underappreciated, yet quietly essential. Lexi doesn't see any hot opinions or headlines when she looks at Caitlin Clark. A straight-up hooper is what she sees. It's not a debate topic or brand. Just a baller who transforms defenders into memes and hardwood into highlight reels. They are constructing something strong in a league that is still beginning to appreciate it. They are more than just teammates, and during a national halftime performance. Lexi, who has been passed over more times than a WNBA highlight reel, is echoing Boston's opinion.
Aneka Agumike, Women's National Basketball Players Association President. Brianna Stewart, Vice President. And Nafisa Collier. All on opposing teams from Team Clark. How does it work out that the three biggest players in the Players Association had an idea about wearing a pay us what you owe us t-shirt, make this decision last minute that this is what the players will do? Team Clark somehow isn't present in the meeting that
Caitlin is the future, not just someone who fits in. Next is Kelsey Mitchell, who appears to have at last located her long-lost basketball soulmates as she walks around. Like a lone Uber driver in heavy traffic, she carried this franchise for seasons. She is currently rolling deep with a full squad. Of certified hoopers, though, who genuinely reciprocate the passes and the favor. It goes beyond a simple rebuild. It is beginning to resemble a revolution. In action, it's confident, fluid, and almost like a sigh of relief. She is throwing out help, like the outlet mall's Black Friday.
I think it was kind of like a genuine surprise, but the t-shirt, just united front was determined this morning, that we had a meeting for. And, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. But no, we were just, we had a very,
that really needed to be mentioned.
I'm trying to make a situation light.
Lastly, the double. Teams are being pulled by someone else. The grins are genuine. It's an electric chemistry. This is the kind of squad Kelsey has been waiting for. Similar to a beloved program that was eventually renewed. All of a sudden, this Fever team tastes like one of those strange smoothie mixtures.
What they were. Petty, divisive, and wildly unprofessional.
These WNBA players, they get more unlikable every day. And the blatant jealousy, the blatant hatred towards Caitlin Clark is, I mean, it's obvious. They don't even try to hide it. We got Kelsey Plum talking about these pathetic shirts that they wore out onto the court. And I'm going to tell you, these players all put these shirts.
Leah's mastery with paint. Caitlin was shooting with her flamethrower. Lex works so hard at his job, Fitbit begins to perspire as well. Chemistry is present, rhythm is present. When two players are truly in sync, and not just acting for the camera. There's that unspoken you crash. I cover telepathy. In essence, Aliyah's screens are pick-and-roll versions of love letters. When Caitlin
Plummeted. The receipts are undeniable and brutal.
Caitlin Clark, she was officially ruled out before all of these things. And look at the news that dropped. This is wild. WNBA All-Star Weekend is supposed to be the star of all stars. All the big dogs is out. Asia Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, everybody's out. The big dogs are out. You got the rookie, you got Angel Reese, Miss Me Too. All of the stars are here. And look at this news. The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48% from $121.
receives one, her closet suddenly becomes larger than a Kardashian's. When Caitlin receives one, her closet suddenly becomes larger than a Kardashian's. Fusion. Do they call a friend and cry, switch, or trap? Ollie, even though Boston doesn't seek attention, it finds her. One thing is obvious from every single possession. Box out, huge screen, and dive onto the floor. She isn't merely here to win. She is here to lay the groundwork.
Caitlin Clark, the All-Star Game simply wasn't worth the price of admission.
Well, would you look at that? Prices for the WNBA All-Star Game have plummeted 49% after Caitlin Clark was ruled out due to injury, per TickPick. I can't say that I'm surprised by this at all. I mean, no matter how much you love her or hate her, Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA.
Furthermore, what she is creating is permanent. After years without it, the Indiana Fever squad has it at last. It's not a repair job, not a let's wait for next season, but an authentic identity. Real chemistry, real structure, and incredible energy. For the camaraderie of the cameras, this isn't a fake. It's real funky ride-or-die energy. The bench is an all-out support team that is prepared for any situation with TikTok-level celebration rituals. After a single three-pointer, they start performing coordinated dances that would make a boy band envious.
Statistics. They are irrefutable proof that Caitlin Clark is the league's economy right now.
Last and latest being this viral Kelsey Plum dig, if you will. And I was in the room for this. It did strike me as very odd in the moment when she said what she said. I wrote it off as kind of awkward, but let me play it for you again, and then I'll respond after the.
However, there is usually a plot twist in fairy tales in this league. It all boils down to one thing, despite all the brilliance that is simmering in Indy. Instead of being forced into a system or subdued, Caitlin Clark is free to play her game. We're not talking rebuilding if Clark is given space to cook and Boston continues to be the team's pillar. We are discussing the Renaissance. Someone at League HQ
benefit from the revenue she generates is the central conflict threatening the league's future.
And guess who had to pull up to the Nike party? None other than Sabrina Ionescu. None other than Kelsey Plum. My bad, y'all. None other than Kelsey Plum, bruh.
Needs to stop treating the officiating manual like fan fiction. Drawing attention is undoubtedly beneficial for Caitlin's career, but not when she's also making elbow gestures, blindside hip checks, and off-ball screens that resemble warm-ups for WrestleMania. Focus on defense rather than borderline
Perfect
assault.
moment to deliver a strategic checkmate.
Your league lost money last year. It's lost money for what, 28 years now, 27 years, 26 years, however long, it ain't never turned a profit. Again, they're about to make more money. They are. The media rights deal, which is where all the money is about to push salaries higher. All right? I think what a lot of people really are sick of is they're sick of the activism part of it, which is what the other night was. Let's go out and show solidarity in protest kind of crap.
You don't need body armor to let the girl hoop. Okay, medical insurance class shouldn't be necessary each time she makes the trip to the hoop. It's just plain business to protect top players. It's not bias. A Ferrari is not something you purchase and then keep in a demolition derby. Give the girl some freedom to play. Allow her to dance with the ball as if she had a grudge in rhythm. Allow her to enjoy the floor without worrying about someone transforming her highlight reel into a bloody blooper compilation. This goes beyond Caitlyn. Concerns the potential of this team, because this team clicks, moves, makes sense. And is more than just entertaining when Aliyah is able to fully commit to her role, when Lexi is flying around like a caffeinated defense on wheels, when Kelsey is distributing like the Oprah of assists, and when Caitlyn is stretching defenses like they're taffy moves. It makes sense, and it's entertaining. Interview 9
operates on a completely different level of strategic thinking than her petty rivals.
Definitely awkward what Kelsey Plum said. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, and that she was attempting to have some trash talk there. She had taken a shot at Team Caitlin Clark and how much better Team Collier was earlier in the game, and not associate that directly with Caitlin Clark. One, because of, the delivery and the awkwardness involved there, and her saying she's trying to lighten the mood. So I think that's what that was supposed to be, but it was completely unnecessary. Didn't need
9.21, 9.45 once more. People are observing, actually watching, not doom scrolling. Those who were unable to identify 3 Fever players' rotations are currently being debated on Reddit from last year. The terms Indiana Fever and legitimate contender are now frequently used in barber hop disputes without any sense of irony. That is a synergy, not luck. That's what occurs when a franchise starts creating something genuine and eventually quits attempting to duct tape a roster together. And despite everything, Aliyah Boston continues to simply show up, carry out her duties, smile despite the commotion, and somehow improve everyone's quality of life simply by being there. She isn't feeding the media beast or pursuing the drama. Because the magic begins when players come to work with a sense of security, empowerment, and appreciation. Additionally, Indiana may be the league's newest secret weapon at the moment. The concept of franchise cornerstone is being subtly redefined by Aliyah Boston, Lily Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and a dash of Lex's chaotic energy. Interview 10.47, 11.19. Check out the scoreboard if you're still unsure if this pair is genuine. Pay attention to the masses. Inquiry Onion, who hasn't cringed into their popcorn after watching Fever basketball for more than 5 minutes. In addition to clicking, Aliyah and Caitlyn are cooking, and if the league can maintain their integrity and health, Indiana isn't merely rebuilding, they're improving. Furthermore, in this fast-paced WNBA media circus, quiet doesn't read as neutral, rather. It reads as shady. If Aliyah hadn't spoken out about Caitlyn, you can bet that people would have noticed. No, everyone witnessed what transpired.
Oh.
In addition to giving Aliyah a boost, Caitlyn restored her to the front page with bold text set up to 100. All of a sudden, Aliyah Boston is being treated with the same reverence that is typically saved for grandmas, family recipes, and jersey retirements. This team isn't simply working. They're completely changing Fever basketball's attitude. Interview 12.24/12.42. It's not simply the Caitlin Clark effect. Rewriting the playbook is what it is. This isn't fake publicity. It's a gravitational shift as well as the best thing a teammate can do. Leap onto the rocket and allow it to take you off. Aliyah Boston is already a top city. For years, she has dominated the paint with poise, toughness, and basketball acumen. However, the cameras are now rolling. The casual fans are now starting to take notice. People who are scrolling through channels are abruptly pausing in the middle. I mean, who is that post beast that breaks double teams and moves like she's performing ballet because she's bored? That's Ab. And the entire Heat roster is now in focus because of Clark's prominence. The gamers who have been toiling away in the background are now shining. Analysis of off-ball movement is being done in slow motion. Sales of jerseys are increasing. The number of highlight reels is growing. Nobody is claiming that Caitlyn made them famous. Such talent doesn't require a cosign, however. She gained attention and visibility. For years, women's hoops have been in need of attention. The megaphone is her. The message is them. And now it's quite evident to everyone. Interview 14.00, 14.31. Therefore, it was significant when Aliyah made her statement in public. It was more than a simple compliment. There was a moment. A queen acknowledging another queen. The internet essentially gave a curtsy. Because respect is shown when someone who is not required to speak chooses to do so. Unity is that. That is the epitome of basketball diplomacy, since the stories would have written themselves if she hadn't spoken it. Let's face it, it put an end to a ton of bullshit before it had even begun. For Aliyah, the spotlight is too much. The culture of the team does not include Caitlyn. Is a rift developing? You are aware of how it works. With a few straightforward words, Aliyah crushed it, and all of a sudden, everything made sense. For the record, let's quit acting as though receiving public acclaim is simple. These are athletes who compete, not inspirational speakers. Media manipulation, pride, and ego all get in the way. Aliyah Boston, for example, says, "Yeah, Caitlyn's. A rival helped shine a light on me, too, when she speaks. It's not a sign of weakness. Power is that. That leader has a deeper understanding of the game than just the box score." In the player voting, Caitlyn Clark came in 8th. She actually placed lower in the player voting for the All-Star game than one of her own teammates. 8. There are no limits. To the pettiness, however, it's fascinating. The WNBA players were blaming one another for years. People are sexist, they claimed. It's sexist in the media. No promotion is coming our way. Don't get enough credit. They don't like the way it looks once they receive the golden goose. Indiana girl, Iowa girl, who knows though? I've been saying this for years. Ride the wave when it comes. You have no idea how it appears. Let's just call it that. Strong-heeled move. Aliyah spotlight stealing isn't a concern for Boston. She is the center of attention. She is focusing the beam, changing the settings, and allowing the others to catch up. Although Caitlyn brought the cameras, they are still in motion because of Aliyah. And this is where its beauty lies. It is reciprocal. Caitlyn is no longer merely introducing logo 3Es. She's changing. She's learning how to cut and dish it inside, how to work with a powerful post player, and how to play within a system rather than constantly being the system. That is true growth. Maturity is that. A team as a whole becomes dangerous when that kind of development occurs. Caitlyn wasn't necessary for Aliyah to be famous. Although her resume was strong already, Caitlyn made it even stronger. Raised the volume so that what Indiana had been hearing all along could finally be heard by the rest of the globe. There is no rivalry here. It's a chemical masterclass. It is the result of two legends of the future coming together and choosing to develop rather than compete. As a result, the Fever, the League, and all of the fans who were intelligent enough to watch one. Please subscribe and leave a like if you liked it.